I hope you are now in a place of your home with strong internet connection. Prepare your notebook and ballpen for the important concepts and prepare yourself. By the way, for the Earth and Life Science, uh, teachers and students for this, for the Earth and Life Science students and teachers for the week to be announced next meeting, but it will be posted within this week in our Facebook page. Okay, so let us recall the lesson last time. Let us recall the lesson last time. Can you still remember this figure? Or can you still remember this image? Okay, while you are waiting, sige, let me check the attendance to those who participate. Okay, the attendance from Doña Magdalena Gafud High School. By the way, for the review, identify what is the process based from the image. And then we have also from Alibadabad National High School, San Mariano District. And then from Daniel Aragonaldo National High School, Davao City. Okay, so can you still remember what is the process stated in this picture? That is the metamorphism. There is an increasing metamorphic grade from low to high grade, and there is an increasing temperature and pressure condition. And next, we discuss also the types of metamorphism, the contact metamorphism and regional metamorphism. And we discuss also the systematic plan for metamorphic rock identification. And we explain the classification of rock based on texture, the grain size, composition, the types of metamorphism, and the map symbol. There is a given map symbol for each type of rock. Okay, good afternoon po. From Kaibiga High School, hello. From Jones Rural School and from Diamantina National High School. And how about this type of rock? Nice and pillite. Can you still remember this type of metamorphic rock? There are two classification of metamorphic rock, right? So will you please identify the classification of this metamorphic rock? So, mga busy pa sa attendance, puro attendance muna to from Diamantina National High School and from Aguinaldo National High School. Okay? So, who else? From Nasiglat Jones School. Okay, another school, Nasiglat Jones Rural School. Thank you. So, what do you call to this? There is a layer of the rock. So, that is known as foliated metamorphic rock. Another type of rock. Identify the type of rock, the samples here, the hornfels and the pink marble. The particles distribute randomly. That is known as non-foliated metamorphic rock. And next, the agents of metamorphism. Will you please identify what are these agents of metamorphism? Based from the description, it is increases with depth and the buried rocks are subjected to the force or stress. So can you identify now? Yes, Alea Chavez, you got the correct answer. That is non-foliated. How about these agents of metamorphism? Can you still remember? That is heat. Is that heat? Do you think so? No. The key word there is the force of stress. Okay? So that is pressure. Dinis-arrange ko, akala nyo yan pa rin yung arrangement nung nakarahan? No. Dinis-arrange ko mga anak. So let's have the second one. It is water-containing ions in solution. Okay? It is a water-containing ions in solution enhances the metamorphic process. So what do you call to this agent of metamorphism? Okay, somebody answered me heat. Nope, it is not heat. Water-containing ions. Can you still remember that? It is based from the arrangement kasi yung mga sagot ninyo, no? That is, yes, you're right, Adrian Alvarez. That is chemically active fluids. Very good. And let's have the last one, perhaps, is the most important factors because it provides the energy to drive the chemical changes. So that one is the last agent. that is very important for the chemical reaction. That is, okay, tama kayo lahat. Clo, and who else? Patrick, you got the correct answer. And the last is heat. You are correct, Luigi. So next, the types of igneous rock. There are two types of igneous rock that is located outside. So the type of igneous rock, sige, hulaan nyo muna yan, yung first. So let me continue the checking up at the attendance of the other school, the presence of the other school. Saan na ba yung iba? Okay, from DMGHS. DMGHS is Diamantina. Ano tong DMGHS? Okay, that is extrusive. Echevarria, you're right. Extrusive form on this surface. And that one, that process, how about, and that is intrusive. You're right, Legaspi. Intrusive rock form underground or plutons. So we discussed also the types of igneous rock based on the composition. So number one, it possesses 70% of silica content, 70% of silica content, and for the second, 60%, that the example is diorite, and the third is 50% of silicon dioxide, and 40% for the fourth. Can you still remember these types of igneous rock based on the composition? So number one is felsic. You are right, Alea. Okay, that is felsic. So what felsic? What's next? After felsic, that is intermediate, okay? And then mafic, and the fourth one is ultra mafic. So here's the most essential learning competencies or the objective for this day. First, explain how the movement of plates lead to the formation of folds and faults. Describe how layers of rocks, stratified rocks, are formed. And the last one, describe the different methods, relative and absolute dating, to determine the age of these stratified rocks. Medyo tatlo, no? Marami. So, bilisan natin. Movements of plates and formation of folds and faults. So, let's start with this, the principle of plate tectonics. So, what is all about the plate tectonics? When we say principle, that is the basic, point of view, principle, the fundamental concept about the plate tectonics. Okay, the fundamental concept about plate tectonics. The Earth's outer rigid layer, lithosphere, is broken into discrete plates. It's moving more or less as unit. So it is consists of the lithosphere is broken into distinct plates and move up or move as one. It move as one unit. And then this plate, by the way, based from the continental drift theory, the plates of the Earth is like the plates of the Earth is like jigsaw puzzle, wherein one plate is like the one plate is related or connected to the other plate. Okay, and then there are seven major plates, and there are dozens of small plates. And then letter B, principle, driven by the mantle convection, the lithospheric plates ride over the soft, ductile asthenosphere. This is the movement of the plates is due to the convection current. If you can still remember the the transfer of heat explained by Tutor Tony last time, the convection current, the movement of the particles from the lower part, di ba? As you go deeper, the temperature increases. So the particles or the magma under, it is once it is heated, it will move upward. Bakit mag-move siya upward? Because of the particles, na naging active. Pag nainitan, naging active, so it will move upward. Once na nasa taas na ng mantle, on the upper part, it cools down. Then the particles move closer again. Then it form a denser material to move downward. So bababa siya ulit. So there is a continuous movement of the magma from the top move to the lower part. So that is the cause of the movement of the plate. Okay, that is letter B. For letter C, different types of relative motion. So we will discuss about the plate boundaries create distinctive sets of geologic features. So, and a plate is not the same as continent. As I've said a while ago, there are seven major plates, but there are dozens of small plates. And Philippines, we have our own plates. We have our own plate. Okay, these are the plate boundaries. Plate boundaries are important because there along edges there are the formation of the lithosphere. So let's have this number one, divergence. So look at the movement of the arrow, the movement in this plate boundary. The movement is opposite. They move away. Uh, the plate moving away to each other, and then in convergent, the plates move toward each other. And then in transform, the plates are sliding past each other. Okay, so here's the types of plate boundaries. The type of margin, the divergent, the movement in divergent that is spreading. The effect is oceanic lithosphere created. And there's a formation of reeds and there is a volcanic activity. So look at the formation or the movement of the magma dito here in the asthenosphere. So that is how reeds form. And in convergent, there is a subduction motion. Subduction is the process of the downward movement of the denser plates. Okay? Medyo bababa of the denser plates. And then the effect, oceanic lithosphere destroyed. And there's a formation of trends to be explained further as we go on. And there is a volcanic activity. Okay, in transform lateral sliding, no more effect, no volcanic activity. So let us proceed. How folded mountains form? Okay, so we have here the plate boundary. Folded mountains form in convergent. The type of plates, it is between continental plate to continental plate. So how is it formed? So look at this. Okay, the two continental plate, yan, the plate is not dense enough to subduct. So meaning, they have the same density. Continental plate, another continental plate, when they react, when they collide, okay, walang denser. So what will happen? As a result, the continental crust folds upward. So there is a continental crust fold. There is a formation of folds upward and creating a chain of folded mountains. So look at this example. The Himalayas, the example of the folded mountains, Himalayas and Sierra Madre. The Himalayas, that is Asian mountain range that separates in that separates the is that Indian that is a mountain range in Asia, okay? That separates I forgot that part, sineseparate niya sa Tibetan Plateau. And then in Sierra Madre, that is from Cagayan Valley to Quezon, and the direction is from north to south direction. Okay? So that is the example of the mountain range. And the folding in rocks occur when they are subjected to tectonic forces from the opposite side. So if there are forces on opposite sides, so what will happen? There is a formation of folding. That is the illustration. An anticline is a fold that arches up of both sides of the rock are pushed inward. So this is the upward, the fold that arches up, that is known as anticline. A fold that sinks, yung nandito naman sa baba, that is known as syncline. So those are the parts of fold. And then how deep ocean trends form? Okay, it is normally formed in convergent boundary. It is an interaction between the oceanic plate versus continental plate. So how is it formed? As the more dense oceanic plate subducts, so there is one plate. Normally, the oceanic plate is more dense than the continental crust. So oceanic subduct. So nasa bandang baba. And then it pulls the front edges, the less dense, creating a deep zone. So there is a formation of trends on this part. A trends is a long, narrow hole in the floor of the ocean. Okay, that is the formation of deep ocean trends. Another, here's the recent achievement of Filipino. Dr. Deo Florence Onda, a microbial oceanographer of the Marine Science Institute of the University of the Philippines, made history for being the first Filipino and one of the first humans to descend the Emden Deep. Nasaan ba ang Emden Deep? Here, ito yung Philippines, at dito lang naman sa gilid. That is the Emden Deep. Ano ba yan? The third deepest spot on Earth in the Philippine Trends. March 22 to 28, 2021, expedition was made in the collaboration with Caladan Oceanic, a private company that develops undersea technology. It's the pride of Pinoy. So another, how volcanoes form. Okay, it is normally formed in the plate boundary, convergent boundary. So the type of plates, oceanic plate versus continental plate. So oceanic and continental. So what will happen? As I've said a while ago, yung oceanic that is normally denser than the continental. So there is a the less dense normally located at the upper part or yung more dense will subduct. So that is the formation. And then subducted plate melts. Ayun, magkakaroon ng formation or partial melting here because of the extreme heat and friction. Magkakaroon ng extreme heat of friction in that part. And there is a formation of magma. And then this magma rises up through the crust where it reaches the surface and cools. This happened repeatedly to create large volcano. So that is how volcanoes form. How about the volcanic island arcs? So almost the same explanation, but this is different. The volcanic island arcs. When we say volcanic island arcs, that is a chain of volcano. So it is formed in convergent boundary. It is a reaction between the oceanic plate and the oceanic plate. So nasa oceanic plate and another oceanic plate. Still, meron pa rin mass denser and one subduct. Okay, the subducting oceanic lithosphere. So normally there is a partial melting. Ayan, magkakaroon ng partial melting because of the it is due to the friction under and the heat. And there will be a formation or the upward movement of magma and the formation of volcanic island arc or chain of volcano. Say almost the same process with the volcano a while ago. Okay, how about Rift Valley? The Rift Valley form in divergent boundary. So it is interaction of the two continental plates. So how is it formed? The two continental plates. Okay, one continental plates and the other. So what will happen? It move away from each other, stretching out crust until it begins to break the fault. Ayan, maghihiwalay sila. And eventually, can lead to the creation of a new body of water. Siyempre, pag bumaba na to, papasok dyan ang tubig. So that is Rift Valley. Sample, the East African Rift Valley. Okay, how about mid-ocean ridge? Mid-ocean ridges form in divergent plate boundary. It is the interaction between the oceanic plates to another oceanic plates. So look at this, there is a upward movement of magma. So what will happen? There is an opposite direction of the plates. And a seafloor spreading occurs at this mid-ocean ridges. Ayan. Diyan mangyayari ang seafloor is spreading. And here is the transform, strike-slip fault boundary. Sample here, the San Andreas fault zone. If you can still remember the movie, yung San Andreas movie, year 2015, So all those scenes, lahat ng eksena na yon, it is because of this, the San Andreas fault. By the way, the San Andreas fault is the sliding boundary between the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate. It slices California into from Cape Mendocino to the Mexican border. Okay, so now it's your turn. You're going to identify um, the following. Identify what is being asked or described in each item. So choose from the words in the box. The plate tectonic, the transform fault, the convergent, seafloor spreading, and divergent. Okay, so I'm waiting for your answer, guys. Identify what is number one. So, here, grade 12 Sapar, hello. Yes, Jacqueline Corpus of grade 12 Sapar, Alibadabad National High School. Your teacher, Ma'am Irma Vanessa. Hello, Ma'am Irma. Thank you. Shout out po, Mac Grady Amir of 11 ADM CHS. Hello. Guys, I'm waiting to your answer. Identify. Identify what is being asked or described in number one. This phenomenon is created during transformation of plates movement, and it is a kinematic phenomenon caused by the relative density of oceanic lithosphere and relative weakness of asthenosphere that is transform. You're right, transform fault. Luigi Echevarria, Baldobara, Maribet, you're right. Okay. Jamie Cabasal, correct. Okay, let's have number two. This plate's movement creates mountain and volcanic arc. Mariana Strands is also created by this movement. So what is number two? Don't forget to type the number of your answer. Okay, number two. So while I'm waiting, sige po. Hello, Op Napasanek from Jones Rural High School. Hello, Rainiel Ferrer, Tangonan. Anak, pakitype mo kung sinong teacher mo. Parang hindi ko pa kilala kung sinong teacher dyan sa Jones. And then, who else? From City of San Fernando. Gas from City of San Fernando. Rain Pamintuan. Anak, pakitype yung school and the name of your Earth and Life Science teacher, ha? Para ma-PM ko. Okay, number two is convergent. You are right, Rosario Crislin. Okay, convergent. Shikina Micaela, right. Mac Grady, oh, divergent. It's convergent. Okay, Patrick, Angela, okay, very good. And then number three, ay, na-reveal ko na, nakalimutan ko. In number three, the movement of this plate is towards the opposite direction or moving away from each other, that is divergent. Wala na kayong sasagutan sa number three. So let's have number four. It is a process of rising up hot, dense liquid materials and creates new seafloor. Oh, my keyword. There's a given keyword for number four. So for number four, while waiting, hello, Samantha Martinez. Samantha Martinez of 12 Aquinas, Aurora Senior High School. Anak, will you please type the name of your teacher in Earth and Life Science? Ha, Samantha? Okay, ayun. Okay na si Daniela. Number 4 is seafloor spreading. Sinagutan na lahat. And number 5, this is a theory that supports continental drift theory and seafloor spreading. So, number 5, nakita ko may sagot na siya. It's plate tectonics. Si Samantha Nicole Padayaw. Uy, naalala ko si Nicole. Laging number 1. Okay, so here's the lesson. The second topic for this day. The formation of rock layers. Okay? Based from the image that is in Animasola rock formation in Masbate. So, how rock layers form? So, based from the principle of uniformitarianism, James Newton, Scottish geologist, chemist, and naturalist, according to him, the principle of uniformitarianism states that the current geologic processes such as volcanism, erosion, and weathering are the same processes that were at work in the past. So, same processes yung nangyayari noon, same processes din yung nangyayari ngayon. So, that is stated in principle of uniformitarianism. And then let us proceed. The layers of rock are like the pages in our history books. So how are rock layers formed? So normally, the formation on rock layers depend on its stratigraphy and stratification. So let us differentiate stratigraphy and stratification. So stratigraphy is the study of rock. By the way, that is a branch of geology that deals with the study of the rock layers. And then in stratification, that is expressed by the rock layers units, it is the study of the composition or the arrangement of the group of rock. Okay, stratigraphy and stratification. So proceed. According to Nicholas Steno, he is a Danish scientist. The stratigraphic laws are the basic principles that all geologists use in decoding or deciphering the spatial and temporal relationship of rock layers. So how can we use this stratigraphic laws? Okay, these are number one, the law of superposition. When we say law of superposition, those particles or rock located at the bottom, yung nasa baba, those are the oldest. And then, yung nasa on the top, those are the youngest rocks. Okay? Those are youngest rocks. And let's have an analogy in a basket of used clothes, di ba? Yung nauna mong ginamit, that is under. And then yung kahapon mo lang ginamit or kagagamit mo lang, that is located at the upper part of the basket. So that is under the law of superposition. That is the analogy. Okay, let's have the law of cross-cutting relationship. In law of cross-cutting relationship, when magma intrudes the rock, that fault of magma is younger than the rock. So here, ito yung cross-cutting. So 1, 2, 3, those are considered older compared to number 4. And the youngest is number 5. So next, let's have the law of inclusion. In terms of this law, inclusions are younger than the other rock masses. Here is the explanation. The intrusion or the particles under, okay, that is considered older compared to the rock mass that contains the pieces of rock. Okay, that is younger, and the intrusion that is older. Okay, that is law of inclusions. And now this is your turn. You are going to answer this question. Who is older, who's younger? Number 1, in what layer was the first rock formed? So this is your turn. I'm waiting for your answer. What would be the possible answer? Will you please type number 1 and then your possible answer? These are the layers of rock. This is A, yung may line dito. And this is B. And ito po is letter C or layer C. And this is layer D. And that is layer E. And don't forget, layer F. Okay? So, I'm waiting for number 1. In what layer was the first rock formed? Alin dyan ang nauna na rock? Based from the illustration. Okay? Your answer is letter F. Where's letter F? The letter F refers to this line. Yung line dito, that is letter F. Okay? That is line. E is the younger. I'm asking the first rock form. Yung first rock na na-form. So, Alea Chavez, answer letter B. Okay, it's B. You're right, Alea. And then the rest, they said letter F. Okay, the F refers to this line. Yung line dito, that is F. So, how about number 2? What letter is the second layer of the rock? So, if B is the first layer of the rock, what is the second layer? Okay, number 2 na tayo ha. Why your answer is letter B in number 2? Number 1 is B already. That is the first rock form. How about in number 2? So, number 2, the answer is, it is A. You are correct. Nicole Yapor, you are right. Okay, it's A. Samantha Nicole Padayaw, you are also correct. How about number 3? What happens in the rock represented by letter D? So how about the rock represented by letter D? Is that cutting or insertion? So in number 3, your answer, cutting or insertion? Type. Number 3, cutting or insertion. Okay, hello, Lisel, Dimple, Marian, Batal. Yeah. Anak, A ang sagot mo, but you have to type the number. Hindi pwedeng A po, ma'am. So, type the number and your answer. Number 3, okay, even you, paano ba to? Napoles, type the number, please. Is that in insertion in number 3? Is that insertion in number 3? Okay, it's cutting. Elizabeth Gonzaga. That is cutting. Yung cross-cutting kanina, okay, that is the law. Uh, applied in that description. And then let's have number 4. What 3 layers was cut by letter D? So, ano yung nadaanan ni letter D? What 3 layers was cut by letter D? So, identify. There are 3 possible answer cut by letter D. We have cutting. Ano yung tatlo na mali? It's okay. You are still learning, anak. Tutorial session ito. Hindi pa naman maapektuhan yung grade mo. You can answer as many time as you can. Kung nagkamali ka sa una, try again. Ganun lang yun. Wag mahiya. It's okay. So, number 4, what are the 3 layers was cut by letter D? It's CAB, Penny Napoles, ACE, BAC. Ayan, ang dami nyo ng sagot. It's CAB or ABC. Okay? ABC or? Okay, you are right. Garcia, LC. And then 5, what takes place in letter F? So, is that fault or folds? So, you must know the definition of faults or fold. This line. Number 5. For number 5, what takes place in letter F? Is that fault or folds? We described a while ago the folds. And how about fault? Okay, Alea Chavez, you're right. Fault. Okay, then next, what environmental factor occur in letter F? So what environmental factor? Can you still remember what is erosion and volcanic eruption? Is there a possibility for erosion or volcanic eruption for letter E? So for number 6, you will type the word. Is it erosion or volcanic eruption? Hello, Edison. 11 Edison Concepcion National High School, Division of Leyte, Rafael and Rodores, subject teacher. Okay. Thank you, Mylene Laura from Division of Leyte. Thank you na. Sige. Iti-take note namin yung pangalan ng teacher mo. And good afternoon from Dinapige, watching from Dinapige National High School. Hello, Heather Star. Gunlaw. Okay, so the answer is erosion. You're right. Balubar, Patigayon, Mercado, Kabasal. Okay, very good. Tama lahat. And then number 7, which rock layer is the oldest? O, yan. Balikan natin yung kanina. Which the oldest? Ano na ngayon ang the first layer of the rock. So, which is the oldest? Based from the answer, in the first question, it's letter B. The rock layer, the oldest layer is letter B. Yan din yung number 1 kanina. Same question. And which rock layer is the youngest? Oh, yan, youngest na tayo. Number 7B. You're right, Chavez, Gonzaga, Liberos, Pingol, Cabasal, Salarda, Kagwadar. Yan, mga tama lahat. Number 8. Which rock layer is the youngest? Youngest na tayo. Number 8. I'm waiting for number 8. You're right, Samantha, Tangonan, Adrian, Kano. Okay, very good, Adrian. Elsie Garcia. Okay, it's letter E. Okay, tama. You're right, Billy Ramos, Sanpe. Okay, very good. Ang galing. Number 9. Which layer describe the law of horizontal continuity? Which layer describe the law of horizontal continuity? So the horizontal continuity, so there's a continuation on the other side. That is layer C. Tingnan nyo, merong insertion dito. There is a cutting, right? So C is the correct answer. For number 9, which layer shows an angular unconformity? So there is a deformation of that rock. because of the angular unconformity, which layer shows an angular unconformity. So in number 10, that is B. Okay? So ito po. The irregular formation of the rock, it is because of the erosion or other geological process. Okay, the last topic, the relative and absolute dating. The relative and absolute dating, when we say relative, it is a qualitative way of describing of determining the age of the rock. So it is from younger to older or older to younger. While in absolute dating, that is numerical dating. There is a specific date or age of the rock sample here on this part na nasa baba that was 520 million years ago and then 545 million years ago. It's absolute dating or known as numerical dating. Ganun din sa radiometric dating. Okay? Same description. In relative dating of rocks, it can only determine if the rock layer is young or old. So in absolute dating of rocks, absolute dating, exact numerical age. Sabi ko nga kanina, it's quantitative way. Okay? So absolute dating of rocks, they use the radioactive elements because of their isotope. Okay, during the releasing of the energy through the radioactive decay, they form the daughter isotope. The parent isotope form the daughter isotope, and here's the commonly used isotope. When we say isotope, the number of protons is equal to the number of neutron, right? Can you still remember that part of your chemistry? The parent isotope here is carbon 14. The daughter isotope is nitrogen 14. And the half-life years is 5,730. And effective dating range is 100 to 50,000 range years. Okay? So normally, all the living organism, to determine the age of the living organism, etong ginagamit na carbon-14. So materials that can be dated using this isotope, the wood, shells, or anything that was once alive, trap carbon dioxide. Etong ginagamit to determine the age of the living organism. And then, for the rock, they use the potassium-40, uranium-238, and uranium-235. So, the potassium-40, daughter isotope, argon-14, and calcium-40. For the uranium-238, lead-206 and uranium-235, lead-207. So materials that can be dated using this isotope, they use it in muscovite, in uranium-238, in zircon. Those are the minerals na ginagamit to determine the age of those minerals. In uranium-235, ginagamit yan in uranite. Okay, so relative versus absolute dating. When I say relative dating, as I've said a while ago, it is qualitative. It is a way of describing the age of rock, which is less specific, cheaper, and time efficient. So hindi siya specific. Okay, so simple way of describing it. Is it older or younger? It could be that way. In absolute dating, it is a quantitative method. So there's a specific range of the age of the rock. So, but it is expensive and time consuming. Okay, for the assessment, you are going to identify the correct answer. So this is the last part. Which type of dating method can be used on rock layers by applying the law of superposition? A. Absolute dating. B. Relative dating. C. Radioactive dating. D. Radiometric dating. So what is your answer? Number 1 is letter A according to Hapor. Nicole, is that letter A? Hello from Aquinas Aurora Senior High School. Sir Leo, okay. Sir Leo Angel. Thank you, Kaylee Magbanwa. So the answer is that letter A again? Which type of dating method can be used on rock layers by applying the law of superposition? Can you still remember what is superposition? The layer, okay? Based from the superposition, yung nasa baba, that is the oldest, and then yung nasa taas, that is the youngest? Is that absolute dating? Is that relative dating? Is that radioactive dating or radiometric dating? So is there a specific number? It's letter B. You are right, Adrian. You are right. Gonzaga, Elizabeth, Patricia, Delena. Okay, you're right. Okay, yung iba, yung absolute dating is specific. Same also with the radioactive dating and the radiometric dating. Specific yung mga yan. Okay? So, eto yung they apply the law of superposition, the relative dating. Okay, for number 2, which of the following is not true about absolute dating? Or which is not true? A, it is a quantitative method of dating. B, it uses simple principles to recognize the relative ages of rocks. C, it is used to give rocks an actual date or date range in number of years. D, it uses radiometric method by radioactive decay, concept of isotopes, and concepts of half-life. So what is your answer? The answer is letter B. You are correct, Daniela. Okay, you're right. Reliora, Legaspi, De Guzman, who else? Artea Startrillo Guanlao. Very good. Okay. It's letter B po. It uses simple principles to recognize the relative ages of rock. Kasi lahat ng mga yan, more on description of absolute dating. Ito, it uses simple principles to recognize the relative age of rock that is in relative dating. Okay? So, life, let me share to you this quotation. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. So let reality be reality. Kung anong katotohanan, tanggapin mo. Kung nagkamali ka, iayos mo. Kung mali ka, you have to make it correct. Okay? Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Okay? So,